7 days away from Destiny, folks. It's June 5th. It's time for another edition of Saturday Slam. Let's run down the card real quick as we get amped. We've got one more Tournament of Xcellence match, the semifinal. Which of these two is going on to Destiny? We are going to find out tonight. Also in action, a preview of Destiny tag team action. Dirty Deeds and the Bully Smasher one-on-one. We're going to try and settle some bad blood. Marquee matchup. We haven't seen him in a while. The Pariah returned last week. He's going up one-on-one against James Moore. We're going to find out what he's been doing in his off time. What kind of new tricks are up in his bag. Let's get it on down to the ring to get started with our first matchup, folks. Dirty Deeds, Daniel Maxen with Hard Luck Hal Rogers right in tow behind him. Now, if you remember, Maxen was actually in the Tournament of Xcellence. Him and Shylynn had a quarterfinal matchup all lined up, and Hard Luck Hal Rogers convinced Daniel Maxen to walk out of that match to focus on this tag match right here for Destiny. Rogers and Maxen going up against Bully Smasher and his best friend Jay Savage. They call themselves Ready to Smash. Savage and Rogers have had bad blood all year long. They have been at each other's throats since Unleashed. And the Bully Smasher coming out with Jay Savage at his side. And let's get a quick word from the new tag team.
October 15th, is this some Halloween miracle? Because someone dressed up as the biggest, baddest, boldest I've ever seen, wrapped him up, turned into my best friend, and now all of a sudden we're a tag team? Destiny can be what you make of it. And on October 15th, we are going to be ready to smash.
Strong words from Jay Savage. Here's a quick rundown of some of the people helping to make Destiny happen. Anything and everything we can do to make this show one of the biggest events in Kansas City that you can be a part of. But first and foremost, we've got two men ready to lock horns in the center of the ring. Referee calls for the bell, and Maxen, like lightning across the ring, looking to take Shannon Reed down quick and early with some cheap shots. But he's simply not able to move the Bully Smasher. One huge right hand from Shannon Reed, and Daniel goes down. And now Shannon Reed showing off the kicks that he's added to his repertoire since he's had that time off. And Dirty Deeds so far in a world of trouble. Back elbow from the Bully Smasher, and it is all Shannon Reed in the early goings. Hal Rogers trying to get some words of wisdom into his protege, into his hired gun. But so far, nothing doing any good against the locomotive that is Shannon. Referee backs Reed out of the corner. Daniel Maxen now trying to get his bearings for what it looks like. Another huge overhand chop. And you can just hear those shots ringing out as Maxen finds himself once again in a very bad spot. Hangs onto the ropes, dodges the clothesline, but he catches a second one. Goes over the top rope anyway, right in front of everybody. And Maxen may be rethinking his decision to walk away from the Tournament of Xcellence, as this does not seem to be going any way that he and Rogers planned. Shannon's got him up against the post. And oh goodness! Daniel Maxen moved out of the way, and Shannon just ran himself into that steel post. And that may have been just the moment that Dirty Deeds needed to turn things around, because I don't know if you noticed, but that ring did not move an inch. And a hard DDT, and Maxen's going to be focusing right on the head. He's thinking that Shannon might have bounced his head off that post. One count only. Shannon still got the wherewithal to get his shoulders up, but he is definitely slow to recover. Daniel Maxen lining up. Huge kick right to the small of the back. And a second one, thrust kick right to the shoulder. And that puts Reed down on the mat. And now Maxen starting to talk some trash. You can hear the crowd trying to rally behind the Bully Smasher, trying to get him going. Rear chin lock applied. Daniel Maxen trying to cut off the air flow. It's a mixture of air supply and airflow, in case you're not sure. And the bully smasher creates an opening, tries to come running off the ropes. Maxen ducks out of the way, but the bully smasher was ready for him, caught him with another knee. And now Daniel trying to find an opening, looking for a suplex. He's able to get Reed over. Impressive maneuver by Daniel there. I'm going to have to admit that. I didn't think he was going to get Shannon over. But now, Maxen looking to keep the bully smasher on the ground. He's hooking up a modified version of a triangle lock, looks like. Doesn't quite have it completely in, though. Shannon's able to kind of keep some distance there. If Maxen's not careful, if his shoulders go down to the mat, Reed could steal a pin here. Shannon trying to stack him. Able to get out of the triangle. Turns Maxen over into a wheelbarrow, and down goes Daniel face first to the mat. And the bully smasher now trying to rally in front of these people. Another knee to the gut. Shannon starting to take control. Fires Dirty Deeds off the ropes. Daniel ducks the clothesline. Shannon's ready. Crossbody caught by the bully smasher. And Maxen goes flying across the ring. Huge fall-away slam. It looks like he might have bounced the back of his head off of the ring there. He is holding on to his cranium after that. And Maxen's in the wrong spot. Ripcord coming up. Huge clothesline turns Daniel inside out, and hard locks up on the ring apron. Referee's trying to get Rogers down, and Rogers throws the wrench into the hands of Shannon Reed. And now ref's distracted, trying to get that wrench out of there. Maxen with a kick. A huge drive-by kick that Reed didn't see coming. And there's the 3 count. Daniel Maxen steals one away. A little bit of treachery from Hard Luck and Dirty Deeds. And now Savage, after the bell, coming in to defend his friend, but the damage has already been done. Jay Savage beside himself with how that match turned out. But the ref couldn't call anything in particular. And Dirty Deeds able to slide out a victory a week before Destiny. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not the only thing you're going to see at Destiny. We've got another tag match. Alan Jones has picked up a protege of his own in Shannon Jr. And they've been looking and putting the laser on Money Marte and Shylynn. So we're going to see a clash just next week between those two. Another thing you're going to see, one of the biggest matches that you can see all year long. The Marksman has put his contract up on the line. It's due October 16th. JC Thunder's put his contract on the line. After Destiny, one of these men will leave KCXW forever. You've got to make sure you check that out. The next match we've got on the card, though, we need to fill out the last spot here on the bracket. Tobias Storm and Shylynn are getting ready to clash to decide which of those two is going to Destiny to fight Big Clayhuna for the Season of Xcellence Championship.
Yeah! Did y'all miss me? No. I know y'all did. Hold on. Tobias! Yeah!
And the crowd very emphatically letting Tobias Storm know what they think about him and his ego. But all ego aside, you have got to admit, so far in this tournament, Tobias Storm has backed it up. Every person he's gone up against, he's thrown a jackhammer to finish it off in convincing fashion. And Tobias making sure that the respect is put on his name, I guess. Another quick moment to let you know about some of the other people helping make Destiny the huge event that it's going to be. We've got prize packages from a lot of these folks and all kinds of other things that you can take advantage of when you make your way out to Destiny. So you make sure you grab those tickets. We've got the link on the description just at the bottom of this video. So make sure you make the click on over there as I figure out what English is one more time. While I learn my first language all over again, let's get back to some wrestling action. We've got Shylynn on the way out. She's got the war braid in. She's ready for battle. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it in her eyes. This tournament is hers to lose. Or hers to win, depending on which way you look at the cup. But before she can head into Destiny in search of that title, she has got to get through a very convincing competitor in Tobias Storm. And the referee calls for the bell, and we are off and running. Both of these athletes, decorated and accomplished competitors in high school. So you're definitely going to see some exchanges and some holds between these two as they try to vie to figure out who's got the upper hand in the early going. And a suplex attempt from Tobias, one from Shylynn. Nobody's budging their center of gravity though. And pound for pound, I do believe these two seem to be evenly matched in strength. Ducking underneath, huge pork chop suplex from Shylynn, throwing him straight over the top. She gets the hook through, gotch suplex, almost dropping Tobias on the back of his head there. He's flipping all over the place. And Shylynn with a Falcon Arrow puts Storm down. And Tobias is reeling after that flurry of suplexes. She hooks one more, looking for the T-bone. And Tobias wisely hooks onto the ropes to force a break. And while the referee's trying to get a separation, he throws a close fist right over the top. And this is very quickly devolved into a fight, folks. Oh my goodness, just bouncing her head off of the mat. And Tobias absolutely irate about being shown up in such a way by Shylynn. And he is showing an absolutely different level of aggression than we've seen in previous matches. And now he's hooking a T-bone suplex of his own. Shylynn goes up top of the Hurricane Rana though. Beautiful counter by Shylynn, puts him into the corner. But Shylynn misses, and Tobias is able to drive her head into the buckle a second time. T-bone suplex from Storm, and down goes Shylynn. Right into the middle of the ring, cover attempt by Storm, only gets two. That was a rather nasty combo that he put together in pretty short order. Ooh, and a huge crossface forearm. And you can see Shylynn not taking anything lying down. Anytime she sees him, even in her periphery, she's throwing an arm, throwing a hand, trying to create some kind of separation. Storm now lifting her up. Wait a minute, Shylynn! Shylynn's got the seatbelt clutch! No, wait, not entirely. Wait, she's got the hook in now. She's got it. She doesn't quite have the backpack on, so she can't get full leverage. And Storm quickly fights his way out of a very dangerous situation. Pump handle gets her lifted up into a power slam. And the referee thought he was going to see a pin there. And he delayed pin now from Storm. And that might have been the reason he didn't get the victory right there. Ego once again playing to his detriment rather than to his benefit. Shylynn having a hard time getting back to her feet because Storm has been throwing some absolutely devastating blows in this contest. And now lining himself up for a bull rush. Huge splash in the corner, crushing Shylynn into the corner. Storm now launching her. Wait, Shylynn with the reversal sends Storm into the buckle. Huge rolling elbow catches him. And Storm now stumbling out into the corner. Shylynn looking for another Hurricane Rana. But Storm with his vertical base holds on. Huge power move, puts her up into the fireman's carry, turns it over to a neck breaker and drives her down on the knee. Storm now hooks another fireman's carry, brings her up from the floor. Impressive strength on his part. Big slam from Tobias. He thinks he's got it. 2. And Shylynn's able to get the shoulder up again. And Storm is beside himself. He cannot believe that Shylynn was able to kick out of that combination. A sit-out attitude adjustment immediately after another devastating move. Tobias knocking over the camera on his way up to the corner. And now, Storm might be foolishly getting distracted by the crowd out there. He's got big plans up on the second rope. And Shylynn makes the catch, throws her T-bone suplex, and down goes Storm. Shylynn unable to make the cover though. That could have been her moment for the 3 count, but she couldn't get herself turned over to make her way for the pin. An absolute moment of desperation as she made the hook and threw that T-bone. As Storm was coming off, I don't know, maybe for a double axe handle or a flying clothesline. And now Shylynn with a clothesline puts Tobias down. A second one. The steam engine's starting to build up momentum, folks. Storm is in trouble. Shylynn hits the knee. She's looking for that neck breaker. She's got it. Storm absolutely flipping heels over head. And now Shylynn up to her feet. She's not going for the pin. She's got a plan. She's looking for a head scissor takeover. Wait. Storm turned her back over. She's got the hook for the $1 million, or the Cobra Clutch. Tobias raked the eyes. Going low when he absolutely had to. Throws her into the buckle. And now Storm, he's got her up. Jackhammer. That might be it, folks. And that's going to be all she wrote. Back and forth all match long between the two of these competitors. But at the end of the day, Tobias Storm reaching for every possible alley that he could to pull out that victory. And with a rake to the eyes, he was able to get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to fill in the bracket because somebody's going to Destiny. And it's going to be, let's show it again, the rake to the eyes. That was all the difference right there. Allowed him to set up the jackhammer for the 3 count. So we will see the Clayhuna going one-on-one against Tobias Storm for that belt right there, the Season of Xcellence Championship. It's been rebranded. It's a singles title. We're going to tell you more about it. But ladies and gentlemen, these two will be fighting for it one-on-one at Destiny next Saturday. You know what else you're going to see? Not one title match. You're going to see 2 title matches. It's been announced. The Pariah and the Infinite one-on-one. After what we saw last week, one of these men is going to be walking home as the Metro Champion. Will the Infinite retain, or will the Pariah destroy the Singularity? We'll find out next week. We've got 3 title matches. We're putting them all on the line, folks. El Diablo, the realest Calvin Hollis Giroux, triple threat action. We are going to have a new Kansas City champion at the end of Destiny. Will Hollis three-peat, or will somebody make the top for the very first time? But before that happens, we have our marquee matchup tonight. The Pariah makes his return to the ring after a long absence. He's going one-on-one against the high-flying sensation that is James Moore. Let's head on down to the ring. And frankly, we were all shocked by what we saw last week. The Infinite in singles competition, when the Pariah comes out seemingly to congratulate him after the match, but then lays out and blasts his former partner with a steel chair. Before we get rolling with the rest of this matchup, folks, one last touch with some of the people making Destiny happen. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you support them because they're supporting us and putting on one wonderful show for you next Saturday. And we see the Pariah stalking the ring like a hyena waiting on its prey. But he's gonna have to be able to catch his prey before he can conquer. And there is nobody harder to catch in KCXW than James Moore. Somebody who, when he wills it, as you can see, he just turns off the gravity in the room and he takes flight as if his bones were hollow. And while the Pariah is certainly a master with his kicks, he is an expert in his striking. He has to be able to reach his target, and James Moore is somebody that is, quite frankly, very hard to reach. And in the early moments, it's very obvious who this crowd is behind. But it'll be interesting to see what about the Pariah's offense has changed in his time off. They lock up, and James Moore in the early goings with a wrist lock. Taking the first point, if you will. And Pariah just forcing Moore into the corner. Almost a wild-like strength there from from the Pariah. As he just forces James Moore into the corner. And from a defensive position at that. You can see Moore's having to kind of recalculate. And we're in a knuckle lock now. Test of strength between the Pariah and James Moore. And Pariah easily gets it turned over, but James Moore ducks through, gets another wrist lock. Great move by James Moore, and the Pariah going for the hair. And now he's got a wrist lock by hook or by crook, I guess. And he's got it in there tight. James Moore's having a hard time making his way out. Headlock applied now by the Pariah as he's starting to wear down James Moore. Going back to the wrist again, all the way around the world. Bad maneuver. He gave James Moore room to move, and James turns it back over. Snapping the elbow down, and the Pariah is not where he wants to be. As James Moore has clearly got the advantage in the wrist lock game today. Moore starting to work his way towards the corner. Pariah grabbing the hair again. The referee sees it this time and forces the break. James Moore comes out of the corner swinging, goes right back to that wrist. Grabs the other hand, and he's going up to the sky, folks. Off the top rope, arm drag sends the Pariah flying. Pariah walks right up into another arm drag. He doesn't quite know where it's coming from. Arm drags everywhere. And the Pariah locked down on the floor, on the mat rather. And James Moore firmly in control with an arm bar after a flurry of arm drags. From the top, from the north, from the south, from the left, all over the place. Hard shot. And another right hand from the Pariah. And he's decided to forego wrestling. Ducking under the backhand is James Moore. He's got a kick of his own. And James Moore with a flying knee to the side of the head. I'm surprised he didn't go for the pin there. That could have been it. Belly to back suplex, dropping Pariah onto the back of his head now. And James Moore thinks he sees an opportunity. He's going up to the top rope. And Pariah is aware enough to go dodging out of the ring with absolutely no hesitancy. Bad spot to be. James Moore trying to go flying, but catches an elbow for his efforts and just crumples out of the ring like a sack of flour. And the Pariah letting these people know that in his mind, he is clearly the smarter of these two. scooping up James Moore into a power slam. What's his plan here? Oh, just ramming James Moore into that steel post right in front of the referee. I don't think we're going to get too many second opportunities with a move like that. As the Pariah resets the count on the referee. James Moore thrust back into the ring now. And the Pariah looks like he's slowing things down and trying to take his time now. Going back to those kicks. If he catches you in the right spot with one of those kicks, it can be the end of the match. That might be it right there. James Moore looks out. Pariah thinks so. 2 count, almost had it. But James Moore was able to come to and get the shoulder up. Rear chin lock applied now as the Pariah's got to look to start cutting off the oxygen and the blood flow. He knows he's got James Moore dazed, and he's going to try to keep him in that state. But Moore's fighting up, and Moore's fighting back. He's moving. Flips out. He knew Pariah was going to move. Caught a kick to his midsection and just crumpled from it. A kick right to the liver. That never feels good, folks. I mean, that'll stop a fight if you get hit just hard enough. Back elbow from the Pariah. James Moore goes down. Another pin opportunity. Pariah a little too confident. Wasn't quite putting the weight down. And you can see the frustration starting to boil over for the Pariah now. James Moore real slow to get to his feet after that barrage of fists. As he just rams James Moore to the steel post again, this time through the middle of the ropes. And the Pariah is looking to see just how far the rules bend tonight. And James Moore working his way back up, and he's just getting chucked into the ring for his troubles. Pariah going for the pin, too close to the ropes. Moore was able to get himself over that plane. And the Pariah just stomping on the wrist, trying to break the entire arm. James Moore not having any of that. He's fighting himself back up to his feet. Moore coming out of the... Oh, he thought that Pariah was following behind him. And he runs right into the boot. I don't think James Moore's all there, folks. He might have hit his head a little harder on that steel post than we thought. And Pariah with a triangle choke over the top rope, just dead waiting. Just like a hangman's triangle choke. That puts all kind of pressure and stress on the neck, on the shoulders, on the head. Pariah looking for another pin after that. Only gets 2, though. James Moore refusing to quit. Despite the absolute barrage that he's been suffering all through this match. Pariah absolutely ruthless. Fisherman suplex now. Rolling over for the pin. Doesn't have the weight down again. We have definitely seen a higher level of aggression from the Pariah in this match than we have seen from him previously. A little bit more of a loose cannon. A little bit more disregard. And James Moore starting to fight to his feet. The crowd's bringing him to life. Back elbow. You can see him starting to build momentum. Huge flying forearm. His feet are coming to life. Flying neck breaker. The Pariah goes down. Moore thinks he has it. 2 count. Pariah gets the shoulder up, but ladies and gentlemen, I think the fire's just been lit back under James Moore. The engine is running at full steam. Oh, a suplex turned over into almost like a driver. Only gets 2 on it, though. But Moore's got Pariah set in the ring right where he wants him. He's climbing up, folks. He could be looking to end it here. And Pariah diving out of the way. Moore saw it, though. He's on his feet. And he runs right into that back-spinning heel kick. And James Moore is out cold, folks. I mean, That is the kick Pariah uses to beat just about anybody. This match is over as far as I'm concerned. Wait a minute. Pariah looks like he's wanting to send a message. Oh, goodness. A devastating maneuver there from the Pariah, drilling James Moore's face into the mat. But referee sees the foot under the ropes. He stops the pin. And that may have been the only saving grace for James there. But the Pariah still firmly in control. Wait a minute. Moore starting to come to life, throwing some elbows. Pariah stuns him with a shot, picks him up. Oh, Death Valley driver. Puts him right down on his head, and that may have been the last ember snuffed. 3 count, folks, and the Pariah takes it home. James Moore putting up a valiant effort, but at the end of the day, the Pariah's offense was just too unrelenting, too aggressive, too ruthless. And that's what he's bringing next week for the Infinite and the Metro Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you grab your tickets. Next week, we will be live at Soccer Nation for KCXW presenting Destiny. I'm Jude Weiss. This has been Saturday Slam. Get those tickets. We will see you there at Saturday. See ya!